Hi, so I'm Chipalo Street. I represent the 37th Legislative District. Thank you for hearing this bill. This bill improves community safety at the same time of building trust between communities of color and law enforcement. So this is a version of a bill that was heard last year in the Senate, and since that time we have been working with the law enforcement community to address their concerns. And I really do thank them for their good faith conversations, because this has allowed us to address many of the concerns that was heard last year. Unfortunately, we still aren't in agreement about this bill. I expect that you'll hear testimony today that says that if we pass this bill, it will be more confusing for law enforcement officers to do their jobs, or that any violation of our traffic code is a threat to public safety. To the contrary, this bill is backed up by data that shows that enforcement or low-level traffic stops are not an effective way to fight crime. Other states and cities have passed similar laws because they realize that their law enforcement officers' valuable time is better spent going after issues that directly impact public safety, like violent crimes or sexual assaults, or road safety, like impaired driving. As part of these conversations with law enforcement, I went on a ride-along with Washington State Patrol. And I want to commend the trooper because he went out of his way in each instance to make sure that every stop ended in the best possible outcome for the person stopped. However, as we were responding to low-level traffic stops, we watched the DUI go the other way, and we weren't able to respond to a hit and run. That very night, we stopped 2 other DUIs and another hit and run that are above and beyond those 2 that we weren't able to respond to. So our law enforcement officers have a lot to deal with, and their time is best spent on these safety critical issues. Reducing forced interactions with law enforcement also minimizes the chances that we have escalations of force. And like Chair Goodman pointed out, we've been reminded of this just this past week with the murder of Tyree Nichols. Unfortunately, we don't have to look very far outside of Washington for cases of this as well. So Brother Fatalogo was killed in Seattle over an incident that stemmed from him driving a car whose owner's license was suspended. Not his own, but the owner of the car's license was suspended. Brother Donald was killed in Clark County from an incident stemming from a broken taillight. And Brother McDade was killed in Kent from an incident stemming from expired tabs. Communities of color bear the disproportionate burden of these traffic stops. And this raises the chances that we are involved in tragic escalations of force. There's no way for us to educate ourselves, present ourselves, or employ ourselves out of this danger. When I was a student in Brown, me and my best friend were walking down the street, and police pulled up and asked us for our ID. We hadn't done anything wrong, so I kept on walking. My friend stopped, showed the police his ID, and told the police who I was. That didn't stop them from calling out for backup. When the police caught up with me, they beat me so badly that they had to take me to the hospital before they took me to jail. They beat me so badly that a woman who was watching part of the incident said that she was traumatized from it. And this is all from an unnecessary enforced interaction with the police. I really encourage each of you to watch the murder of Tyree. Like, this gruesome video hits home in a different way for each person. For me, it reminds me of the helplessness of not being able to protect yourself when you don't know where the next blow is going to come from. It reminds me of like the desperation of trying to find something to scream out so that you humanize yourself, so that you stop the next strike and they stop hitting you. I'm lucky to be here. Tyree is not. We have an opportunity to improve safety for our communities and make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else in our state. Take this opportunity.